What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, host of the Philly Talk podcast, but we are back with something different. We slack big time in the off season, but that's happened sometimes. But we are back like we never left. Still not from a Cowboys fan for some reason. Yes, Battle Birds podcast live pregame. We got the Lions week 1. How you feeling, fresh and gate?
You're that, man. You know what it is. You know what it is. Your boy Philly Fresh, a.k.a. the General. Hey, man, listen. The season is here. Is no more what ifs. Is no more how much did he progress. Is no more none of that. We going to see front row or wherever you at in the crib or whatever. We going to see what this team is about. And I think we're going to see some good things, y'all.
Hey, we're going to find out how good this team is, right? I mean, let's just call a spade here, man. There's some analyst, if you all saw Mike's video, and I'm using the term analyst very lightly, and I believe that this is a sneaky game to where there could be an upset. And I get the rationale behind it that it's week 1. Anything can happen in week 1. Sometimes the best team doesn't win the game in week 1. Green Bay got absolutely smashed last year in the opening week and turned out to be, I'm pretty sure, the number 1 seed, the NFC last year. So, yeah, I get it. But I got a feeling, man, that we're going to see a different look, a different team this year.
Yeah, I agree completely. He's just pretty much holding the premise on what the Lions got better. We weren't good last year, but I think we got better and we will be better via the pass rush. And I think he's just also looking at what the Lions did just the last couple games. Who knows what the teams were playing for at that point. This is a brand new season. And yes, upsets can happen any given Sunday, especially week 1, where things need to be, clear on what this team is. I think the Eagles defense, although throughout the season, you're going to see how powerful it is. This is the week where you can see a bunch of, hands up like, oh, I didn't know you were going to do that. I didn't know I was going to do that. You can see some communication errors this week more than you would see week 5, 6, 7. So anything's possible, but it's not possible.
Yeah. Just to answer a comment real quick in the comment section, guys. Yeah, man. If you guys, some of y'all that are from Greensboro, you're probably picking them on at Gate City. Yeah, guys, I'm in Greensboro, like right off of Yanceyville.
Yeah, but Mike, to piggyback off what you just said, I mean, I think this is a good team to test what we got going on against. Like, the Lions are not really war beaters, but we're not going to sit here and act like they can't beat you. Anybody can get beat on any given Sunday. We didn't see it. We didn't seen the lowest of the Jets in Miami beat the Pacers when they was at their highest. So we know that you can lose. But to me, this is a good team. This is a team that you can, really test and see who is who. And hopefully, you know what I mean? I mean, when you look at the whole schedule, though, I mean, we got about, 2-3 quarterbacks that we really got to worry about? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. I think this season going to be lit. We starting off with week 1, man. Let's see where it takes us.
Yeah, when I look
at let's go real quick, Mike. Predictions. A.J. Brown. Come on, right out the gate. Let's do it. A.J. Brown. What do we think is going to happen?
I got something along the lines of 7 catches, close to 100 yards in a tub. Okay,
what you got, Reese?
That's crazy because that was my free giveaway this week. Was AJ Brown from the rip? I had to get him right in there. I mean, when you look at the situation of him the last 2 years, man. I mean, when I read the stat, I was kind of amazed. First and over 50-yard touchdowns, first and over 50-yard receptions in the last 2 since 2019, and you like, wow, you need to bring that over here. To me, I got him going for $120. I got him going for $120, man. Not gonna lie to you, like it's like, and then I just read. I mean, you can take tweets how you want to, but I just read that Elliott Shore-Parks just tweeted that they're talking about playing AJ Brown man to man. Are you kidding me? Are you crazy?
Bring it.
Are you crazy?
Bring it. I hope they do.
Tears man to man up, especially in the middle of the field. You're not going to be able to do nothing with him in the middle of that field. And then we seen, I know it was only one drive, but we seen in the preseason when you got Dallas Goedert and AJ Brown in the middle of the field, defense ain't going to know what the hell to do. They ain't gonna know what to do. As two big, dominant, basically receivers. You know what I mean? So the league in trouble, man. If this thing, if we're gonna talk about some things that need to be talked about, but if things go right, man, the league in trouble this year, y'all.
So I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I think he's gonna go for about like 6 for like 70, but I think he's gonna grab 2 tutties in this game. I think he's coming away with a couple touchdowns in this game because I think they're going to pay so much attention to A.J. Brown. They're going to forget that Devontae Smith's on the other side. And I think Devontae's about to go off in this game. I think Devontae's going to be unstoppable in this game.
And I have it the other way around. I have him having 120 and no touchdown, but I got Devontae having 2.
Yeah.
And I asked the question in one of my last videos yesterday, and it was, who is going to be the offensive standout and the defensive standout? But since we're on offense, to me, some people might act like it's not a hard question, but it is. You're talking about every time you say A.J. Brown, then you slip in Devontae Smith. You just said A.J. Brown, then you slipped in Dallas Goedert. And let's not forget, how did we beat this team last year? We ran the ball. They got Aiden Hutchinson. Cool. They upgraded on safety, a guy who can play in the box. But at the end of the day, they're still vulnerable. They got weak linebackers. Listen, they're Azaloni. I forgot his first name. But Azaloni is our Alex Singleton, our past tense Alex Singleton. He's only starting because they got no linebackers. They're forced to start a 6th-round rookie. We should be able to run the ball. And because you only get so many snaps, I believe AJ is going to be unstoppable, Devontae Goedert, but the run game should and will be used. I know we want to see us use our new toys. We want to see Jalen Hurts throw the ball consistently, but we got 17 games to do that. You don't got to jump into that right away. I know the narrative is going to be, if we run the ball 35 times, the Eagles still don't trust Jalen Hurts. But if we run the ball 35 times and we have 200 yards rushing, well, I don't care. When you stop the run, then we will experiment with the pass, but it's all about the win.
So do you think Miles Sanders is going to go off in this game, or do you think it's going to be mostly Hurts?
I said I have a sneak. Listen, this man played all last year without a touchdown. Miles Sanders is getting a touchdown week 1. That's just going to be put to bed. Listen, and I'm not even – listen, low-key this whole offseason, I started falling back on Miles. I love the kid, but I realize the situation is he's probably not going to be Eagle after this year, no matter what I feel about him. With that being said, every single day of this week, I just been having this little feeling that Miles Sanders is about to make people say, dang, we're going to lose this guy, and I think it's going to start week 1. Real quick, though, the Philly Ace drops a $5 super chat. Fly Eagles Fly, Hurt season, Roots on 3, flowers everywhere. He got all the segments. Super Bowl journey, let's rip Hearts out the chest. Fly Eagles Fly on the road to victory, and Big Fish Little Boat coming through. This defense better be something. I agree.
I like that day.
Too many star-driven players on this team for Jonathan Gannon to say, whoop, there it is, you know?
Hey, Reese, I want to get your opinion on this because you played running back. So when I broke down the stats and I was looking at Miles Sanders, he had pretty much just as much opportunity as Jordan Howard, Kenneth Gainwell, Boston Scott in the red zone, and he came away with no touchdowns. Those other dudes did put points on the board. They scored inside the red zone. I mean, Boston Scott had I think he had 7 touchdowns in the red zone. It was something ridiculous like that. I got to ask you, man, as explosive as Miles Sanders is, what do you think happened last year? Do you think it was lingering hamstring thing? What do you think happened?
It's multiple aspects of why he didn't score a touchdown. Some of it's coaching, some of it's injuries, but some of it is his eyesight, just period. Even in that one drive that he played, he had a chance to probably score a touchdown. He had it wasn't Kelsey, it was Landon Dickerson, all the way up to the 50-yard line, just running with him. He chooses to go. He's supposed to go on the inside. He chooses to go to the outside and gets caught. We've seen this many, many times. It seems like he doesn't know how to follow his blocks in the open field. And to me, sometimes that gets him in trouble. You know what I mean? First, it was the issue of him. It wasn't that like that the rookie year, but it has become an issue of him also not holding the ball.
Yeah.
And that's a problem too. I get what he said. He need opportunities. I get it. Y'all know I got not a love-hate relationship on Miles Sanders, but it's like I see the potential. You was a kid that went to the school that I was supposed to go to. I was supposed to be a running back for. And I love everything that you bring to the table, except for your faults. And to me, your faults are so big when you got a guy like Kenneth Gainwell who comes out there week 1 last year. Let's not forget, he the one that closed the Atlanta game. It wasn't Miles Sanders, and Miles Sanders wasn't hurt. And I think that's because they trusted Gainwell to have the football more than they did Miles Sanders. So, yes, you can say opportunities, but what do you do with those opportunities when you get them? Are you going to fumble the ball? Are you not going to go to the right hole that you're supposed to? Because it seemed like when Boston Scott and Gainwell get the ball, they go to, if the hole isn't there, they will make sure that they find a open hole. If the B gap isn't open, they'll go over to the D gap. So to me, he tries to just, I'm supposed to go through the A gap. Let me get through the A gap, get through the A. No. Have patience. See, if that hole is clogged, have patience, find another hole. And to me, his eyesight and his patience just isn't there. Now, I'm not saying it can't get there or it's not there now, because hopefully it is. But from what I've seen in the past, that's the problems that he has.
You know what's crazy is we were breaking down the playoff game, and I had Caleb on, Dubs, the O-line guru, and I had Jalen Williams on, 2 former collegiate offensive linemen. Yeah. And I was breaking down with one play, and I asked him straightforward. I said, in your opinion, did Miles go to the wrong gap assignment? Was he in the wrong hole? And they were like, no, not really. I mean, the play is kind of designed to go that way, but it also, if you watch Lane Johnson, Lane's climbing to the second level, and he does a beautiful job at sealing off the cutback lane. It's just he didn't see it. And if he takes that cutback lane, it's a huge, huge play. And I was like, yo, man, it's crazy because, like, when you see it from the offensive lineman's perspective, it's definitely different. It's a different way of looking at the game when they start really getting into the techniques of what they're trying to
and to me, Gates, real fast, I'll let y'all go. That's what separates the good running backs from the great ones. The guys that can see a play developing before, I see my lineman. I trust my lineman. I know he's better than this defensive end, and he's going to get me open. Let me follow him instead of just trying to do it yourself. You don't have to do it yourself. Roger.
Yeah. Hey, chat, real quick. Everybody in the chat, give us your attempts. Give us the yards you think for Miles Sanders in this game. Attempts and yardage. I want to see where everybody's at, because Miles Sanders is he's a very dividing figure in terms of like the belief level of Eagle fans. Like, you got some people that believe like, you keep this young man healthy, this is a 1,000-yard rusher. You got other people saying like, hey man, he just hasn't developed enough over 3 or 4 years. But yeah, I mean, he's a crazy guy because like you said, Reese, you said you could see the potential. Like you said, like
5.5 yards to carry last year.
Talented. Yeah.
I mean, 5.5 yards to carry last year is no easy task. And it's not easy to do that over 3 years. We could talk about production never being a 1,000-yard runner, but still he's carried the ball 150 times every year. And to be in that category of over 150 attempts and 5 yards per carry, because some running backs, if you look at all the list of the NFL, you'll say this guy got 5 yards a carry, but he only carried the ball 30 times. It's easier to do that. But to carry the ball 150 plus times, 3 years straight, and still have over 5 yards a carry, that's a short list. And that is the potential. It's the other things. It's the goal line work. It's the smarts, not going out of bounds when you shouldn't, going out of bounds when you should, seeing the holes, and scoring touchdowns in the red zone. And
I got vision. He said Sanders goes off 17 for 122 and 2 tutties.
I mean, I can believe. I ain't gonna lie. Like, it's not like I don't want the guy to do good. I can really see that happening. You know what I mean? But then I can see next game, and it's just like
consistency.
Yeah. But it's funny though. Like, we can see like my guy Stu saying, "Look, he's gonna go off." Then you get a guy like Teddy. Teddy's like, "Yo, 10 for 35." Like, you know, like what I'm saying about like how divisive it is. Like, you know what I mean? Like, everybody has an opinion, and like it's crazy, man. Because I think most of us are pretty close in the total number of carries we think he's gonna get. It's just that how productive we think the carries are gonna be is where it gets, you know, like where everybody's like really far apart on the situation. What did you think, Mike? I mean, what are your thoughts about it?
I think, you know, with everything that transpired this offseason, I think he's going to have a big game. I think he's going to be, 15 plus carries, and it's going to translate to right around 110 yards. He's going to get a touchdown, like I said. The crazy thing is, though, the Philadelphia Eagles offense is so dynamic. And I know a lot of people still hold that question mark tag over Jalen Hurts, whether you believe it or not. The players around him is so dynamic, and I can see the way the Lions defense is set up. You can win multiple ways. If they come out and they pass the ball, that's not a wrong thing to do. Their secondary is not that strong. Their linebackers are not that strong. Guess what? Last year, when we played the Lions, Jalen Hurts threw the ball 14 times. He had 9 completions. Guess how many Dallas Goedert had?
Like 6 or 7, right?
6. That means 6 of 9 completions went to Dallas Goedert because they're weak in the middle. So there's so much that this offense can do. That's why it's really hard. If I look at the Lions, listen, the volume's going to go to, Amon St. Brown is going to be one of the workhorses. TJ Hawkinson, and they're the main 2 guys. I know Swift will get some pass catching stuff. It's cool, but that's what they're going to try to do to us. For me looking at it, I can see Miles, Goddard, Devontae, AJ eating. I can see Hurts eating on the ground as well. So it's a very hard thing for me to pick, but I do believe the coaching staff is going to make some people mad by staying with the run-heavy offense and gradually. I'm a guy who said 60-40. We got to see Hurts open up the offense. However, you don't got to do it week 1. And if something is working, if you go down your first drive and you rush, you go 80 yards and you score a touchdown, and 55 of them yards were rushing, well, then guess what? Next possession, do it again. Don't stop Reese, just because you want the fans to be happy.
And Reese knows this. Do you really want to demoralize a team? Run the ball down their throat and to where they can't stop it. There's nothing more demoralizing.
Everybody in the stadium, everybody watching TV, the defense, everybody know you're going to run the ball, but you cannot stop them.
And they still pick up 8 yards.
We have that kind of offensive line, man. Like this, I'm so happy with this offensive line because if you look across the league, a lot of people don't have a good offensive line. I just seen Matthew Stafford get pummeled on Thursday. Von Miller was doing what he wanted. That's not happening over here. It's not happening. I don't care who you are. You're not coming over here and you're just going to manhandle this offensive line. Especially when you talk about Lane Johnson. Nah, that ain't happening. Big Mailata, nah, it's not happening. You're not doing. You better find something else to do. You ain't coming over here with that. That's one of the reasons why I feel as though the league is in trouble also, because if you give Jalen Hurts some time, man, and he's feel comfortable, start getting comfortable in the pocket, and does know he has to run. I mean, what can you say? With all that time, you think you give him 5.5 seconds. You don't think one of those dudes is going to get open?
Oh, that's
I'm excited to see this offensive line stack up against Detroit, because the one thing I will say about Detroit is, if you're looking at the interior defensive line, they do got talent there. I mean, between what's that dude's name? Levi Onwuzurike, or I can't say his name, but I remember him from not this past year's draft, but the year prior.
That big dude the big dude.
McNeil. Yeah.
Okay. Is that the dude is that the dude that sneezed and blessed his own self?
I don't know. He might. I don't know. I don't know. I know Aleem, but I don't know Forest Roseville down in Raleigh, but just outside of Raleigh. But I mean, I don't know him like that. I mean, I know him, but not like that.
No, he was doing an interview, right? So he sneezed, and he was like, "Bless me."
That's wild. Real quick though, Eminem with the $2 super chat. He said, "Yo, that season is back." We all excited about that for sure. LB in the building. What's going on, LB? I wanted to touch base on the Lions pass rush though as well. They bring Aiden Hutchinson to this D line, and they recently got a guy, Charles Harris from the Falcons, and he stepped up pretty good last year. He had 7.5 sacks, the same amount as Josh Sweat, who I think is a guy that, first of all, Fresh has been calling him since pretty much he was drafted to the Eagles in 18. However, since I knew Fresh, to say the least, and I think because of BG coming back and because of Hassan Reddick being a double-digit sack guy and all the interior guys like Fletch and Davis and Hargrave, Sweat is going to be low-key closing in on that 10-sack season too, I believe. But here's the thing. We saw the Buffalo Bills play, right? And Von Miller was primarily used the right way, right? He wasn't dropping Von Miller back. That's a waste of talent. They Put him as the stand-up joker pass rush, but he still played the end. If we start seeing Reddick play that way, that's one side. Well, now BG, Sweat, and Barnett are going to occupy a side too. Does Sweat lose snaps this season?
I think everybody loses snaps this season. Like, because when you look at it, you have the best rotational defensive line you had since 2017. Like, and to me, it's not even a debate. When you talk about we wanted another guy to be like the defensive tackle. Now, I still think that you can go out there and try to find another defensive end. I'm not saying that. I do think we still should have one, but it's also going to predicate on what I hate to say this name, but Derek Barnett is going to do. You know what I mean? Like, but seriously, like, to me, this is a year that you need to go out there and show out, because to me, he's not coming back to the Philadelphia Eagles. So you need to put on tape for other teams that, I can still play. You're probably going to find yourself out of the league. So I think he needs to put on, like Mike said, y'all already know how I feel about Josh Sweat, man. The athleticism is just off the charts to me. I always thought that he was going to be our guy when Brandon Graham left. I didn't think Brandon Graham was going to be here that long either. Not going to lie to you. Then you got BJ, who we just brought up. Coming off an injury, yes. But when I look at his tape and I like, this is one of the that I really follow on Instagram. This dude he's just a machine. Like, he's in shape. Like, he works out. Him and his wife work out all the time. And I just think he's ready. You know what I mean? Now, sometimes injuries are injuries. And, we pray and we hope that stuff doesn't happen. When we talking about being ready, though, he's ready. Yeah. And you're talking about getting Jordan Davis. And, the list just goes on and on. And then, to me, the guy that people are not on the people don't really name like that, and I think is going to have a dominant year, is Hargreaves, man, because he started off the year last year. He was dominant. Like, he was dominant. I guess they started moving the double team over to him and letting Fletcher Cox. When I looked at some of the tape, letting Fletcher Cox play one-on-one. You cannot. Who are you going to double now, though? You're in trouble. Anybody that you double in the inside, the other person is you in trouble, man. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, he had 7.5 sacks too. So two guys both had 7.5 sacks. We bring more pass rushers, but I still don't want to forget the both Hargrave and Sweat. I think they're going to be key in his success. And when you have a guy fresh all the time, when you go into the fourth quarter, whether you're winning or losing, and you are playing a fraction of the snaps you played last year, that is going to pay off week 10, week 15, and into the playoffs, because that's where we go in.
Exactly.
I'll say this, guys, like, in terms of the matchup, because Reese and I, we were collabing back and forth, kind of looking at matchups in this game, in terms of, like, the Lions got a lot of unknown here, because last year Amon-Ra St. Brown, TJ Hawkinson, DeAndre Swift, and Khalif Raymond were kind of their four big targets. That's how their target share is. But they've added a lot. They've added a ton of guys here. I mean, you got Josh Reynolds, DJ Shark, Jameson Williams when he finally gets healthy. The one thing I will say is looking at this team, they want to get more vertical, clearly. DJ Shark is a vertical guy. Josh Reynolds has the ability to play that intermediate and vertical route area. Khalif Raymond was their vertical guy last year. Jameson Williams is a phenomenal deep threat. Like, to me, that shows they want to push the ball vertically a lot more than they did last year. I don't know the quarterback is the right quarterback for that. And I know Reese was definitely kind of getting on, like, what happens to him when you get pressure on him. Because, Reese kind of pointed out, Goff did not play well when you got a guy in his face.
But not only that, this offensive line is not the offensive line to be trying to get vertical neither.
Yeah.
They kind of banged up going into this. They did pick up somebody. I can't remember the offensive lineman that they picked up. Rashawn or something like that. Somebody comment, let me know. Y'all good at that. But yeah, they did pick up somebody to, kind of reassure the line. But this line against this defense, you want to go vertical, you in trouble.
They got two really good tackles. I don't know. Does anybody in the chat or does one of you guys on the panel know what's going on with the center? I know he was hurt throughout the week. He was a limited participant on Thursday. He didn't practice Thursday. I'm not sure what happened Friday. But is he playing? I know Big V is on IR. That's their right guard. But they do got two great tackles. The offensive line has been one of the things that the Lions can say they got a top 5 of, according to PFF and other outside platforms. But real quick, Birds Nation 302 with the $2 super chat. He said, "We fly high," birds emoji, and fire emoji. Listen, the season exciting, not just for the Eagles. Look, I was one on Twitter that said the Eagles are part of the reason why that's sold out in Detroit. But I'm not going to lie, Detroit being featured on Hard Knocks, having the type of offseason they have, finally believing in the coach. Listen, when you had Patricia as your coach, you were in the dumps for a little bit. I'm not saying I believe in Dan Campbell, but the Lions organization and fan base seems to believe in Dan Campbell. You had a pretty darn good, solid offseason, getting Aiden Hutchinson, Jameson Williams, and then, fixing your offensive line, because Eagle fans will be the first to tell you it ain't always the prettiest thing to fix your offensive line, but it comes in handy when you got one. It makes average offenses better. Average wide receiver, average quarterbacks, they look better. Same with the running backs when your offensive line is in the top 5. We know that.
Hey, not EXO. Just to give you a little help, man. I can't spell it out for you because then it'll get blocked if too many of us spread that out there. But use Reddit and then the 3-letter acronyms that stand for football, and you'll find whatever game you want to watch.
There you go. There you go.
There you go.
So let me ask you guys.
So they guard Tommy Kramer. Kramer is out. On the offensive line, that's really it. We don't really have anybody out just Tyron Jackson, Josh Sills, Trey Sermon, Reed Blankenship. That's a hell of a name. Grant Conteri. So that's really the only people that we got out, and they do got a guard out.
Okay. Yeah, they got an injury at the right guard position. That's going to be an interesting matchup, Mike, because I know what PFF rated their offensive line, and I get that, Taylor Decker playing left tackle, Penny Sewell at right tackle, decent tackle combination. If they had Big V in there at right guard, I would think that, that's a fairly decent. Ragnall's a really good center, but he's beat up, and now you got a guy at right guard that they were already talking about moving guys around and bouncing, I think, Sewell into right guard and then playing their backup right tackle. I mean, there's already chatter about that. So, I mean, I think they already got kind of some issues with how they're going to line up their front 5. So, I mean, it's favorable for the Eagles. I'll say that.
Yeah. So, listen, I don't think we'll be able to do this episode, but we will be having episodes where we put the link in the description and definitely bring some of you guys on and get your thoughts, because, at the end of the day, this is the most excited time of the week, the hour leading up to the game, and then the hour after the game is either exciting or horrible, depending on how that game goes. With all that being said, let's show the Lions some love. No team is garbage. They're in the NFL for a reason. So if the Lions somehow find a way to beat the Eagles, how do they do it?
Man, come on, Mike. Come on, Mike.
How do they do it? What goes wrong for the Eagles and right for the Lions?
All right. They're going to have to win in the trenches, which is not going to be easy, in my opinion. They're going to have to win in the trenches, and then, Gannon's going to have to play passively. I mean, to be quite honest, that's, Reese, backstage, you brought this point up that Gannon should show the intelligence that we all know behind the podium when he's talking about football. That intelligence at some point's got to translate to the actual production on the field. I mean, I'll let you take it over. Reese, because I know you brought that up right from the jump when we were talking.
2 things, Mike. Turnovers and Jonathan Gannon. That's how Detroit wins this game. When you look at the situation of, just to get turnovers, we already know what they do to a team, no matter if you're flowing or whatever the case may be, or you're struggling. And, it being the first game, if you start getting turnovers, people start looking at each other, because this is not a team that's been together.
Pointing the finger a little bit.
So then things start getting a little frustrated. So hopefully that doesn't happen. But number one to me is Jonathan Gannon. If you're going to, like you said, Mike, If you're not going to play Hassan Reddick like they did Von Miller just a couple days ago, you might be in trouble. If you got him in coverage like he's a coverage guy. Nobody's saying he can't cover, but that's not his. You want to use their guys to get the best attributes that they had. And when Nick Sirianni took the job, that's what he told us, right? I'll never forget this. I'm going to use the guys to their best attributes. Okay, well, you need to tell your defensive coordinator that. I don't need Slay. I don't need. I don't need our cornerbacks 7 yards back when it's 3rd and 5. Don't need that. Because now it's a whole people don't understand how much demoralizing it is for you to be stopping somebody. They only get 5 yards, right? And then you got a defensive coordinator that got you lined back 7 yards, and they easily get the 3rd down. It's just now we got to do this all over again. And it's and to them, it's like, come on, man, like we had this. Now he tried to. I ain't gonna say try to throw slaying them under the bus last year, said it was their choice whether they wanted to be face to face or lined up or lined back. To me, that's bullcrap. Because to me, Slay is the type of person, if he has a choice, he's going to be in your face every single time. So Jonathan Gannon to me has to call a good game plan. You have everything. You have every single tool to build the house. Now we're gonna have to see what the house look like. You have everything, man. Only thing that you probably don't have, and I like our safeties. I'm not gonna say, but that's your weakest position. And to me, that's strong. You know what I mean? I don't know what you're gonna do with Garner, because Garner, he was
nickelback.
He was a guy, he was a nickel. But he does play in the middle of the field. Now, I'm not saying he can be like your Malcolm Jenkins, because Malcolm Jenkins, he was big. He's a big guy. Like Gardner Johnson is really not. But
he played big though.
Yeah, he does. And he talk ish. I did not know he talk ish like
he
that.
Said he got a bald head.
He be talking. I'm talking about when he was with the Saints. Like, I finally went back and like, oh, he be talking crazy to people, man.
Listen, when I had a Saints beat writer, she covers it as a lady who covers the Saints for 104 ESPN, and she was just saying how much he then heckles the guys at practice in a way where he shows love, but his game is predicated on just getting inside your head. He calls the most penalties throughout the league. I forgot who she said, but you know, when you go into a game, it was somebody in their division. I think it was Carolina, and your head coach is trying to game plan for who they want to go up against CJ Garner, because they don't know who can handle all his shenanigans. That is a big thing. That is a skill that need to be utilized. And already he just fitting in like a glove in Philly, just talking his talk and earning respect. And I love it for sure. Real quick though, Lust with the $2 super chat, he said, "Fly Eagles Fly out now on all platforms." Listen, go check him out on IG. Go check out all platforms. Just type in Fly Eagles Fly. Look for Lust. He already sent the music, the song to me. It's fire. It's a great flow to it. He talks about all the Eagles in his thing. He got little clips of Nick Sirianni. I ain't going to give it all away, but the song is fire. It's fire. Go check that out for sure.
It's on here. It's on you. I mean, on here.
It might be on YouTube too, but he said all platforms. So just check out Fly Eagles Fly, and it's Lust. Real quick though, James Clark with the $2 super chat. He said, "I ain't gonna do no talking. I'm gonna let the Eagles do that," and I'm all about that. Again, Lust, it said, "Shout out to Philly Mike. We will win this." Appreciate the $2 super chat, and he does shout me out. He shouts me out in his song too. He said he shouts my name out, so shout out to him. It's a tough song though. Definitely check it out, everybody in the chat. So wait. So all right. We just said what could go wrong, and I agree wholeheartedly with both of you guys. Being passive and turnovers. You know, you come out there and do what Josh Allen did in the first half. That whole Buffalo team, 2 interceptions. One really wasn't his fault, but it's still going to count on the stat sheet. And James Cook, first carry, a fumble. You have 3 turnovers in the first half. You shouldn't win the game 31-10. But why did they do that? Their defense stood up tall. And I think that we got a similar defense to what the Bills have. I'm talking about personnel. I think our front four is every bit as good as them, right? You're talking about Jordan Phillips, 2 sacks. Why can't Hargrave or Fletch be one of them guys? You're talking about Von Miller. at the age of 30 something. Why can't Hassan Reddick be that? And then you got Sweat, BG, and Barnett, the mixture on the opposite side, whether they do this, that, and the third. I like our linebackers. They did not blitz. They did not blitz. They won their one-on-one matchups. They played good coverage. They didn't even have Tre'Davious White. They got 7 sacks without blitzing. We got 6 sacks on the Lions last year. We probably blitzed a little bit, but not that much. There's ways to be aggressive in your back end and your defense. If your corners, your linebackers are aggressive, you can send 4, but because they're aggressive, there's no little dump off passes. The quarterback got to hold the ball that extra 1 second, and that's all the D-line needs. I'm not here to say, Gannon, go blitz right now. I'm here to say, Gannon, do what is necessary to make Jared Goff scared. If you're getting there with your front 4 because you're bringing your secondary down, cool. If you're not getting there, that's when you have to do something different. So I'm not here to say I need Jonathan Gannon to blitz 20% more. I'm here to say, Jonathan Gannon, do what you want to do. If it's working, continue. If it's not, throw a wrinkle in the game.
Exactly.
I'll be honest, Mike. I think the biggest thing with this defense is CJ Gardner-Johnson, because you have to understand the role that his coverages do. The Eagles like to run a lot of quarter zone match stuff. Okay, there's man match, which you see like Belichick and those guys do, and there's a zone match, which you'll see a lot of quarters, kind of zone match, and you'll see some cover 7 technique there. So Avonte Maddox, Gardner-Johnson, the 2 roles of those guys, it's going to be very important. And then what I want to see is when we go cover 1 or cover 3, we're going to give you that look like we're playing 2 safeties deep. And then we're going to post snap, rotate it down like that. Are you playing a robber technique? So that's after the snap, that's when you start bringing that guy down, Gardner-Johnson, to kind of rob, try to steal something over the middle of the field, those crossing routes. Are you going to play, something, like a lurk? Lurk is when before the snap, you move Gardner-Johnson down and you know that he's playing the middle of the field. Are you going to do rat? Rat means you take a guy like Kaiser White, and Kaiser White, a linebacker, takes that field. Like, that's the things I want to see from Gannon. Like, the individual details about coverage like that, you've got to show us more. We got to, I know that we didn't feel comfortable leaving Steven Nelson on an island last year. I get it, but we got to see more, man. There has to be more. We've got to give the defensive line time to get home. Simply put.
Yeah, Bradbury ain't Steven Nelson though. So to me, when you like this is why I said talent wise, you have damn near everything. You know what I mean? But Nick Sirianni, to me, he's not off of our little periscope that we looking at him through the microscope, should I say? Because you got everything too. Like Nick Sirianni, and I understand you did get a play call on the Shane Steichen. You know what I mean? Let's see where that goes. Maybe you got more time to do other things with other players. Maybe hopefully we don't be third in the league in penalties and all that kind of stuff. Maybe our special teams will be better, which I think that we need to talk about before we get out of here. First it was Quez Watkins, then it was Covet. I don't know who's going to be returning kicks, but to me, that's a phase that we have not been good at, other than kicker, since 2017. Like, we've really been horrible in special teams. But back to what I was saying, Nick Sirianni, to me, you got all these weapons, man, and you got to find a way. And like you were saying, Mike, with just with Hassan Reddick, that's not a blitz. You just you playing 3-4 and then throwing him at the quarterback. That's not even a blitz. That's just using your player. Like when Von Miller was getting them sacks, he wasn't blitzes. He was just coming off the edge, and they couldn't stop him. And to me, we got to see if Hassan Reddick can do the same thing. So it's a lot of things that I think that we're going to learn about our coaches. To me, the most we're going to learn about anybody is our coaches today.
Yeah, I will say one minor detail though, Fresh, is that Von Miller plays the pure rush linebacker role.
Yeah.
To where in this defense, I hate to tell people this because people aren't gonna like this, but Hassan Reddick is more of the jack linebacker role.
Yeah,
he will have responsibility at times to drop in coverage. I know people are gonna like that, but generally speaking, it's going to be towards Sweat and BG side where the pure rush is, which is what Von Miller normally did. They're like Reddick is going to be more of like the Bradley Chubb in Denver type role.
Right.
Yeah. And we already seen that in preseason games and just the way they were already talking. I just don't want that to be primarily what he's doing. You brought a guy
I
in
get what
here
Reese is saying. Reese is saying he wants the same impact, regardless of how he wants the same exact impact, regardless of how you get there.
I hear you.
I
mean, we paid him, right? I mean, to Reese's point, we paid the man.
Like, yeah. pay him and play him. So seriously, man, like I don't want people to look at this and act like I'm down. I'm very excited. I'm very, very excited to see all this talent that we got, man, and see how they're going to incorporate everybody and put them in position to be successful. Because you do have, man, when you look at it from top to bottom, and it starts with the offensive line in the trenches to me. From top to bottom, talent-wise, even just names, when you look at it, you in the top 5 in the whole league, period. And I don't even think it's a discussion about that. So you have what you're supposed to have. It's just that Jonathan Gannon just scares me, man. He does. Until I see something different, he scares the hell out of me, man.
Yeah, fire blitz. Do you think we'll see it? I'm not saying week 1 you got to go fire blitz and start doing all this crazy design stuff, guys. But do you guys see that? Like, you got, when I say fire blitz, guys, to simplify that term, we're talking about bringing your linebacker. So you're dropping a guy, one of those edges is dropping, and then you're bringing one of your linebackers with pressure. Nakobe Dean was really good at that role in college. Kaiser White has shown some ability here and there. I mean, he's not like a dominant. It's not his thing, but I mean, he can do it.
Right.
Do you guys think that we'll see a little bit more of that style of defense at point in time this year when the matchup kind of favorite?
I mean, with Dean, yeah, I wouldn't really do it with Kaiser White as much. But when Dean, he's fast enough and has the instincts. Like, the tape, when you put on a tape with this kid, man, you think that you're watching a freaking veteran. Like, he is really that good. Like, he knows how to fill the holes. Like, not gonna lie to you, man. He knows how to get down there and just find what he's looking for. You know what I mean? Like the kid is good, man. Even in the preseason game when he knocked over the running back into the quarter, I'm like, this dude, man, he a beast. I can't. That's another. And I do want to ask y'all, as the year goes on, and we all know, I think, I don't know how y'all feel, but Nakobe Dean is probably might be the best linebacker at the end of the day. I like Kaiser White, I do, but if he is the best, do you want him to have the most snaps? Like, should he have the most? Should he, just because he's a rookie, should they hold him back, or just because you paid Kaiser White a couple dollars? Like, what would y'all like to see? Like, just an even split, or?
I want the best guy out there. But I think right now, Nakobe, although I believe he's going to be a staple of this defense for the long haul, I think right now you're going to see early in the season a lot more TJ Edwards and Kaiser White, because I think they're just more ready right now. What I would like to see is the little snaps that Nakobe Dean gets, he starts to stand now in real game speed, and then it will be forced upon Jonathan Gannon, which we saw that trickle down. Let's not act like Jonathan Gannon didn't assess the defense at the linebacker position last year pretty good, right? You had Alex Singleton and Eric Wilson being your starters and playing high minutes. By midseason or a couple games in, Eric Wilson is off the team, and Alex Singleton was your backup linebacker who came in a fraction of the snaps in week 7 and beyond than he was in week 1 through 7. And so they definitely decisive that quickly.
But Mike, here's the thing with that. We called for that week 3. It took him 7 weeks, and we called for week 3. We seen it.
Man, I called Eric Wilson to be fired the minute we signed him. I was not down with that pickup, bro. I was.
But I'm just saying. What I'm saying is, if we see it, I know y'all see it.
Yeah.
Like, you got to make the move, because it's been times that the linebackers have lost us 1 or 2 games.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I think we're different though with what we have now, and even TJ Edwards. Nobody wants to really fully say it, but the man has gotten better every snap last year, and I think he is just starting to inch into his prime as well. Real quick, I do want to help Chief out. He said, should I start Jalen Hurts over Joe Burrow when Joe Burrow is going against the Pittsburgh Steelers defense? We're going against the Lions defense. At the end of the day, say what you want about Jalen Hurts as a real quarterback. The dude is a top 10, a top 3, a top 5 fantasy quarterback. And if he continues to run the ball like he did last year, well, he's a must play then. So I'd play Jalen Hurts over Joe Burrow for week 1. That's just me.
I think you're in good hands either way.
Yeah, I think yeah. I just now that you brought that up, man, I want him to run out of necessity, and that's it.
I'm just talking about.
No. I know you're talking about fantasy, but no, because it really scared me, and we all know it was a corny hit, but he had one drive, and in that one drive, he got hit dirty, like, and if he's lighting you up, that stuff is going to happen. People are going to be gunning for him when he's running, especially if he's lighting you up. So to me, man, I just need him to run out of necessity, or when it's a clear lane and you know that you can slide down, or you know that you can get the touchdown. I don't need you fighting for yards. I don't need none of that. I don't need that from you. You have too much talent. I'm gonna say this again. I say this on plenty of videos, on plenty of lives. You have the most talent any Eagles quarterback in the history of Eagles ever had. It's no debate.
Joey 2 times. I feel that statement, bro, because I can root for somebody, but my money might go completely different. I feel that statement.
What did he say?
He said, hang on. He said Detroit versus everybody, but my money is on Philly. Laugh out loud.
Yeah, look, well, I normally do not bet with the Eagles unless it's like I'm not calling this a layup, which I am, but I'm kind of calling it a layup and not. But these is when I pick the Eagles. When I think it's an even. When we're playing I don't want to keep poo-pooing on the Lions. It's going to come back to haunt us. But, like, this will be a game I would bet the Eagles. But majority of the time, I keep my heart away from my pockets. And I don't normally bet on my Eagles unless I really, really feel like the line is really good or this, that, and the third. I can get them in a really good situation. But we are about to be out of here in 5 minutes because the kickoff is going to be – we want to get out of here with 15 minutes so we can do our superstitious stuff. You know, everybody got their own little routine before an Eagles game, and we are back. But we ain't forget the end of a segment like we do last year's Battle Birds podcast.
Hey, real fast before we do that, do y'all agree with me, though? That
what?
This is, like, Jalen Hurts got the most talent any Eagles quarterback ever had.
Yeah. Top 5 offensive line, top 5 receiving core.
Right.
We always been on good offensive line, but when have you been able to say we are a top 5 at the wide receiver position in the NFL at all? You can even go back to T.O. time. He was great, but who was beside him?
Yeah,
exactly.
I think
our second best receiver was our running back,
Westbrook.
Yeah. I think the Vic era was really close. It was really close. I don't know if the offensive line though stacked up 1-for-1, but they had Shady, they had Macklin, they had Djax. They had talent. But.
Let me just say this real quick, because I wasn't on
Mm-hmm.
YouTube back then. And listen, that 2010 Michael Vick Eagles team was legit. And I called it from the gate. As the season tailed to an end, I said, there's 2 teams that I've got going to the Super Bowl from the NFC. It's either the Eagles or the Packers. The Packers were playing good at the end of the season. They started to really catch up and be good. They weren't a powerhouse throughout the whole season. However, week 1, round 1 in the playoffs, we got matched with the Packers. And I said, again, before the season was over, that one of these 2 teams are going to the Super Bowl. We got week one in the playoffs, or round 1 in the playoffs matchup. We lose by 4 points. Tramon Williams intercepts the Riley Cooper pass. Vic threw it on 2nd or 3rd down. Didn't need to do all that.
Yeah.
And then the Packers walked through the Atlanta Falcons. They walked through somebody else. Yeah. We legitly had the best chance to beat them. And I said, whoever wins this game is going to the Super Bowl. And it was crazy because that Michael Vick 2010 team, LaShawn McCoy, Macklin, and Jackson, that was a good chance. And we got beat in the first round, but we got beat. Listen, even the Super Bowl, Pittsburgh and Green Bay, we were the closest one, and we had so many opportunities in that game. that could have been us too. Vic could have been.
I'll
on
say,
a pedestal.
Mike, I always thought that if you went back and you looked through that 2004 Eagles team, I don't think it's as loaded as this one, but it was good. Defensively, it was really loaded.
Oh,
but I was just talking about offensively.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, no, I
like
get what you're saying.
defensively, it's not even close. Like you talking
Yeah.
about 2004, 2003, 2000. No, it's not even
Exactly.
like. And
Yeah.
I like our defense, but that defense,
just having
Uh-huh.
Jim Johnson is the
Bro, the 2008 season. How crazy was 2008 to where that was the season? Remember, McNabb got benched
yeah,
for freaking Kolb.
yeah.
And then we came back, absolutely destroyed Arizona. I believe that was on the road. Make a run, beat Dallas. Week 17, we beat Dallas.
We
And then
lost
we
in the
made a run
NFC
in the playoffs,
Championship.
and then lost to the Cardinals in the championship game after we destroyed them.
But do you
Could
remember how
not-
we lost that game? though? Listen, we were
Larry
literally
Fitzgerald.
getting.
Go ahead. Oh, my bad.
How did we
No,
lose?
no, I'm saying we couldn't stop Larry Fitzgerald. That's how we lost the game.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
But listen,
you're right.
to be down like we were down like 24-6 or something, to come back, take the lead, and have to sit there. So like it's one of them games where you're like, damn, we're about to get beaten in the NFC Championship. Then you come back and then you watch Kurt Warner do an 8-minute drive. He took 8 minutes up and take the lead. That was painful. But listen, we got to get to our
All right.
standout players on offense and defense for this week 1 matchup. Chat, do your thing too. Let us know who you got as your standout players on offense and defense for week 1. Go ahead, Gate. Start it off. You get the easiest one because everybody's at your dispense. We're gonna have to go off what you say.
All right. Let's go offense. All right. So I'm not gonna go with the layup here. I'm not gonna take Jalen. I'm not gonna take AJ because we already got this little mix. Me and Reese we already shouted out different names earlier on. I'm going Devontae. I think it's going to be Devontae Smith, man. I think Devontae Smith's going to have a really, really big game. Defensively. I can't go Reddick, man. It's just too easy.
As soon as you said Reddick, that's what was in the chat. Boom, Reddick.
Yeah, I can't go Reddick. It's too easy. I'm going to say, man, this is tough, bro. This is a tough one, to be real with you. You know what? Sweat absolutely destroyed them last year with his speed to power. I'm going to say Josh Sweat.
It's a good one. All right. Oh, wait. You got to get your score prediction.
Score prediction. Go ahead.
We beat them 44-6 last year, so I'm going to say like 56. No, I'm joking. I'm going to say like 31-20 Philly.
Well, that's real close to my score I've been saying. Go ahead.
What'd you
Go
say?
ahead, Fresh. I'll tell you then in a second.
Offense. Man. I want to go Miles so bad, but I can't, man.
That's mine. I already called it.
No, I'm not going there. I'm not going there. I'm gonna go with Dallas Goedert because once again we talked about the middle of the field. They cannot stop anybody in the middle of the field, and Dallas Goedert's going to eat, man. He no matter how much talent you put around it, he finds a way to eat, man. And it seemed like Jalen Hurts really likes Dallas Goedert. Like he really does. Like he really likes to throw to him. So I'm gonna go with Dallas Goedert, man. I got him putting up the 80 piece in the tub. Defense. I gotta go with. I say Bradbury gets his first pick as a Philadelphia Eagles from the rip. Like I'm talking about like second drive, like picking right off. Like good defense. Hargrave or Fletcher Cox puts a hand in Jared Goff's face, and he throws one up. Bradbury comes down with it. Score prediction. I got it 27-13.
27-13. Well, Bradbury was my guy. I said it on the interview I did with Dave Spadero, so I can't go there. But there's plenty to pick from. Trust and believe that. So on offense, out of all the great playmakers we got, he's the one player that a lot of Eagle fans are down on. I got Miles Sanders. There's just something been telling me all week. 100+ yards, touchdown. I got Miles Sanders going off. That's not to say that other players won't go off, but that's going to be one of my standout players, Miles Sanders. On the defensive side, since Philly Fresh robbed me of James Bradbury, I'm going to have to stay in the secondary. And what rhymes with stay? Slay. He's going back to Detroit. He scored a touchdown last year, and he's never going to play Detroit without an interception. That's just my hot take. When he plays Detroit for the rest of his career, he's going to get a pick. So I'm going to go Slay in the secondary. It was hard because a lot of great pass rushers, I think they're going to have success in this game, but I'm going to stay with the secondary. And for my score prediction, 33-22. So you had
Ooh, we are
31-20.
close.
I
Yeah,
had
we are close,
33-22
Mike,
all
yeah.
week.
Yeah.
So
I'll
let's-
say this: does anyone feel like someone like Zach Pascal could be slept on and could be a guy that gets in the red zone and all of a sudden he's walking away with a couple touchdowns?
No, I
Is that
mean, no, you can't sleep on nobody. You can't sleep on Kenneth Gainwell for him
Yeah.
for him to go for 80 yards in a tub. Like you can't sleep on Boston Scott for him to get
Yeah.
those goal line touchdowns. Like you can't sleep on nobody on this team, man.
Yeah, because you know
And
Pascal
anybody
wants
that
to
you
prove it.
sleep on is gone. J.J. Thicker Whiteside is gone. Jalen Rager is gone. The people that you can sleep on, they're not here.
not according to Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's still here.
Yeah, a couple days ago this week, he was saying why the Eagles are gonna win the East. He was like, now Jalen Hurts got a bunch of playmakers. He got AJ Brown, he got Devontae Smith, and then Jalen Rager got a lot to prove alongside them guys.
That's how you know dudes don't really be. They don't follow the teams like. It's too many teams and too many sports for them to follow. They got dudes back there giving them notes and all that kind of stuff. That's
Real quick,
It's crazy because I feel like Pascal's the guy that really, really wants to prove it, and I think he's the guy that you put him against an inferior nickel corner, he's going to route him up, and he's got size. He's got size to take the ball.
Yeah.
Like he's the guy that I'm like, yo, I'm gonna be mad. I'm gonna be mad if we come back here and he went off in this game. We're all like, yo, we knew it in the back of our minds.
You know what's crazy though?
Yeah.
Like to me, other than probably Dallas Goedert, he might be like the best red zone threat that we had.
Right.
Like a bigger guy that goes up. He goes up and gets it. Now AJ Brown definitely does too, but AJ Brown is like a more open field type of wide receiver. You get what I'm saying? Like I'm talking about in the red zone, running routes, getting open, and making them difficult catches. Pascal can definitely do that, man.
Yeah.
Facts. Real quick, Big Fish Little Boat with the $20 banger.
I love the name.
Fact. He said y'all are underrated. Keep grinding, fam. Salute. Appreciate the love. Appreciate the support. Stu Vision said that Stephen A. Smith corrected himself later in the show. I didn't see that part. Shout out to that. Listen, I make mistakes too. It was just funny. And it was funny, though, because how he was saying it's Jalen Rager. That's why it's more funny.
Why he corrected himself? Because he had people to tell him in his ear, yo, you know, Rager are not on that team no more. That's what I'm saying. Like people gotta respect what we do. We do it from the muscle on the ground. Like they got so many people, and that's not hating it. It is what it is. If I had them kind of people, I definitely would use them. But I mean, we do it from the muscle. Like and all the stats and all the stuff that we get, we gotta go looking for that stuff. You know what I mean? But shout out to them, man.
Yeah, listen,
Hey,
we
for
got
you guys that keep asking in the chat how to get to the game if it's not in your local market. I can't say it fully because it can mess with us, but go to Reddit and then use the 3-letter acronym that stands for football, and you'll find any game you want to watch.
There you go. Or just come to Philly Mike's live play-by-play. You heard?
There you go. There you go.
With that being said, I will be live at 12:55 in 5 more minutes. I got to go drink some water because it's going to be a long game and maybe, hopefully, not too much yelling. But listen, we got over 500 people watching. We are live on 3 channels. I normally say this multiple times in the stream, but hit that like button wherever you're watching it. It is free. It's easy. It don't cost a thing, and it definitely helps us out in the algorithm. With that being said, check out the other people on the panel. Go type in Philly Fresh. Look at them videos. Hit the like. Hit the subscribe. Same with Gate City Sports Channel and Philly Mike, the Philly Talk Podcast. We love y'all. And listen, we'll be back post-game. Good or bad, we're back to doing the post game, and we got extra people coming through, LB and Simone. So we gonna have a 5-piece panel post game show, and hopefully we can do this every single game, and hopefully we got a bunch of wins to talk about. Until next time, we'll see you in 3 hours. We out. Peace.
Yo, that.